What's going on? Move the mouse back in City Skylines, the town of Plainville. Let's play season 11, episode number 13. Pretty sure on both of those, season and episode. Where are we at? Well, guess what? We got another milestone just sitting around waiting for stuff. Milestones wise, we hit 65,000, which means we only have 15,000 to go before we unlock pretty much everything that the base game has. Now, of course, there is something to be said for unlocking all of the various unique buildings. Those all have their own individual requirements, but we're not doing those from the ground up this time around. Those are all still there. Did I place everything so far? 1, 2, and 3 so far? I did, even that colossal order building. We got to find some spots for these because we're going to want to at least drop them in temporarily. But what I thought today's episode could be about, and actually, let me jump back into cinematic for a minute because this is going to be a little different. I'm going to tune and tweak some highway exits, 2 or 3, and I'm not the best at them. I'll give you some tips and tricks and some things that you should consider. But you know, hey, we're in a building without mods. All right, it's not going to look perfect. You want it to look perfect? Go do a PC build with mods. Move it at the very least. So what are we doing? We're going to build a couple exits to spread out some of the traffic in our city. It's not the best. I haven't been building for it. We haven't really put a ton of effort into mass transit and things like that. So we'll see what we can do. Let's see where we're at to start the episode, right? Before we get too far ahead of ourselves. Traffic-wise is 80%. And this roundabout is kind of really essential to the city, but it is so heavily hit, right? So we want to try and create a couple different spots to come off the highway. That way we can old town a couple of key neighborhoods to prevent people from traveling through. So over here's the first one. Let's do a little time lapse. Some things to consider, right? Don't be afraid to use regular roads and then convert them to highways later on. Regular roads are nice because they have zoning, and when you freeform and start to curve things, you'll actually see kind of where those curves happen a little bit easier based on where the zoning breaks. You can see right here, it's where the curve starts, right? The road is straight until the zoning breaks. So you could do something like that. I find regular roads also snap to highways at different angles. Like if I try and go with a straight tool, I can do a 90-degree intersection like that. If I go to highways, right, it's going to force that to curve off. So just some things to keep in mind, right? Use regular roads, go into your snapping options, set it all the way down if you want to do much smaller options for how much you're changing the height on each click. Little things like that. So let's get an exit that kind of feeds down into this strip, I guess. And I've been meaning to for a while, one in between these two, maybe that hooks up to the train area. That could be a serious gutting. Uh-oh. The building burned down. And where else are we at? So we've got a decent pocket we could fill in over here. Traffic's not the best, it's not the worst. And a ton of industrial demand. So let's do this. Let's fire a little pocket of industrial off. What can we do here? Let's do this. We'll do office. But first we're going to district so we can high-rise ban. We'll just call everything in here, including this connecting street, I guess. All right, that'll cover all that. Let's come in with a small tool though and D-zone on this street so that doesn't get affected if we old town that. So just because we need the zoning, let's go ahead and fill all this in. That's good enough. Small brush right there. Come on, come on. Right? Right there. Don't need that one. So we'll fill in a couple offices. Heck, why not a couple offices over here? I was gonna high-rise ban. Hold on. Don't move in. Don't move in yet. Did you move in yet? Somebody moved in. I think it just prevents top level, so it shouldn't matter. City planning, high-rise ban. There we go. All right, so what I've done here, it came a little bit under the highway, a little bit under the highway, and then next to one another for some of these routes. So here's how we're coming onto the highway. So we've got a one-way kind of highway around the outside edge here, right? It's a 2-lane grass line street, one-way. That's kind of acting as this highway. We have zoned on one side, not the other. But we've got this little turn-off lane here. Becomes highway, single lane. Splits just under there. Yeah. Splits under there to come back up. And then the other side goes all the way around over here. Coming up next to the highway and then back on. We're getting the traffic. Key principle here, getting the traffic off the highway here before we're introducing any traffic coming back on. And it's the same thing in reverse. We're getting traffic off the highway here before we're introducing anything coming back on. So let me just make sure I didn't upgrade all this, obviously, since it's zonable. And then we're gonna have to switch the directions on it too. And change direction. That is correct. This is not. Right? That's coming off the highway. Yep, and the split there. May as well round out this little commercial pocket on that intersection. That'll fill back in relatively quick. Let's go 3 times speed just to see what happens over here. And I feel like we should... This is totally going to be park space with pedestrian pass. It's going to be perfect. And in fact, we'll do little pedestrian sidewalks in the middle of the street. We can do that now, even before we get park life. If you haven't seen this trick on the channel before, let's do this. Let's break whatever segment feels most in the middle. This one right here. Perfect. Okay, we'll break that. And then we'll connect it with a regular street. So this does 2 things. When you change, that really messes things up because that's not a one-way. Upgrade. So this does 2 things now. Did 3 things before when it was a 2-way and a 1-way meeting up. That was not something that we wanted to do. The 2 things that it does do that we're okay with is when you switch from, in this case, 2-lane grass line to 2-lane standard, you add a parking lane. And in the process of changing the roads, you also add crosswalks. So we'll have something like that acting as crosswalks in the middle of the block. We'll have, footpaths that come through here. And when we have Park Life DLC eventually, we'll also have the ability to drop in gates and charge people money for it. So what do you know? But for the time being, we'll just give them a free little cut through there. We'll end up doing something like that. Filling this in with trees and some objects. It's not the biggest space. Maybe we can get some of the smaller stuff, little gazebos and decorative things like that. Let's do this. Info views, traffic, 77%. 3 times speed. Let's let it run. What is it? June 11th? June 12th. Let's let it run till the end of June and see what happens over here. Bear with me 1 minute. Be right back. Time lapse, or probably just a dissolve cut. All right. Well, that was interesting. It went up. It went down. It's pretty much exactly where we started. So, not a lot of people taking this one. But if we old town more and restrict where people can cut through in the first place, well, it's going to mean that they're going to have to kind of go around to take those beltways. So what's busy? Like, look at how busy this is right here, right? This is gross. This is a gross kind of cut through here. We want people on this street that hooks up with a roundabout. We don't want them cutting through here. So I feel like we need to district this and old town it Let's see what we did. We didn't do over here. Okay. So let's see. Do we just do the interior streets? Is that what we need technically? We don't want to do the exteriors. We just want to say no cutting through this particular neighborhood. Right? Do that and fill it all in. Because that should achieve the same thing for us. We get all these little partial streets that don't connect. Right, because we don't want them stacking up on that street. I mean, I guess it's okay. The up and down, the north and south traffic is okay. We don't want them cutting through here, through Poplar Park. This is a fix it later. We'll come in and clean the districts up and actually get them nice and tight. But for right now, policies, city planning, Old Town. Don't cut through this neighborhood. 3 times speed. That should lighten the traffic up at least a little bit, I would think, on this strip, right? Because people that aren't coming here aren't cutting through here now. They might if they've already designated their route. But we've got a little bit of an exit over here. Do we get one? I think that we do for over here. So let's figure this out. What if we came all the way over and did a little trumpet turnaround down here? I think we could do it. Let's see. Okay, we can do this. We're gonna come over the highway with the standard roads. So much easier. 1, 2, 3 clicks up on the default. The smallest step. Okay, let's do that. How do we get them in, though? Let's get them in. Ready for this? We'll do something a little different here. Let's come over the road before we bring it down. Before we hook it in, like, right there. Okay, let's upgrade all these segments, change our directions, and then we've got a little bit of an exit. Not the most efficient one, but a little bit of an exit for our industrial areas here. Why? Why won't you let me upgrade that one? There we go. That's already converted. That's the correct direction. Do we have any arrows? Yes. Any arrows that are incorrect? Yeah, a bunch. All right, same thing. 3 times speed. Let's let it run till the end of July. Just check out what's going on here. You got to give traffic kind of time to settle down into its new routes. We're at 82%. You know, we cleaned up a little bit over here. Sometimes you push the traffic problems around. But as long as you're avoiding them in the right spots, that's what's most important. This is the piece that I'm kind of worried about, is the exit ramp if trucks start coming here. But it looks like ones in the zone already are more interested in getting to the train terminal. If we put a train terminal, if we found a way to sneak it in somewhere over here, maybe right there, there's a way to deliver goods into our downtown area. That would be pretty cool. Let's take a look. This is not enough customers, I believe, right? The money. $65,000 people. We need more jobs in our town. So let's take a look. Do we have any industrial zone that we can zone out? We technically do. We could do all this. Now we're going to be careful over here because this could get to be just too much traffic over here with all these trucks. And in fact, when they first move in and they're all kind of firing, getting deliveries, it might get a little busy. But overall, the traffic flow through here, though very heavy, is doing the trick. Actually, it's not bad at all. There's a lot of it. It's a little slop, but it will do the job. So that helps bring down our industrial needs a bit. We could also look at cramming in a little bit more office here or there. I mean, what are we doing over here? We don't need the residential yet, but this just makes sense to be another residential pocket. We could office in the middle. I don't want to, but we could. You know, we haven't filled out much over here. We do have to kind of figure out what we're doing. And I'm going to blow away this. Are they getting... They're totally getting backed up because this one... Check this out. This green train is waiting to go left. The purple train is waiting to pull into the station, but it can't because this green train is waiting to go left. So we kind of did the same thing that we did before. So may as well fix this while we're here. So let's delete all that. Let's curve this first one in. This is not part of today's episode, but it is now. We'll curve this one first. So let's actually curve it so we can just do a 90. Okay, well, let us build that. Well, let us then connect that. It's a little bit of a slope, but it works. And now... what do we got for tunnels underground here? Not much. Okay, so now with enough length to pull away from the station, how do we get this hooked in? Because we need it to come back and hook in a way that it can come up this way. So let's see, does that work? When they're coming back from over here, they can loop all the way around and like that, and that should be far enough away to prevent those trains from backing up. Metro line wise, is this one going to recalculate? I think that it will. I mean, those trains are following the route okay, even though it's not drawing it. Sometimes they update, sometimes they don't. If they're getting there, I'm fine with that. So there's a train waiting to get out of the station, but they're not backing up on one another again. So this one's coming over here. All right, over here, before I forget, we may as well fill in the rest of this with residential. That's what it was always intended for. We even throw in a couple little small apartments at the end. That's fine. We need the people moving in right now. Maybe we make a little space off of the school. Select. How about like 3 squares? How about enough for those 2 trees to comfortably be behind the school lot, and then just cram the rest in? So by meeting all our other demands, we're kind of we are encouraging residential growth, right? If there's not enough jobs, if you need more places for people to work, like commercial and industrial, it kills your residential growth. So by making sure that we stay on top of those, we should hopefully keep growing slowly but surely. Child health center, how are we doing on those? It looks like we've got pretty good coverage almost everywhere, which increases our birth rate. And then elder care facilities extends life expectancy. Both a win-win for our residents. So we got an exit there. We've got an exit here. And I'm thinking, so what I did up this way to kind of keep some of this traffic down is the industrial area itself is old town. I think I might have mentioned this in the last episode, but that kind of cuts off using this highway exit. Obviously, if you're coming over this way, I guess you could go way into the city and come back up. That's probably causing some of our traffic. So how are we going to support more of a build in this area? And I think, to be honest, we might reserve some of this for university, but we kind of need something coming off the highway there, across the street, linking up maybe into this segment, kind of in the middle. I think that's what we need to do for our next highway exit. So one that makes the most sense. If we end up buying this tile over here, we might also look at adding one over here to take some of the stress off this, but this is moving traffic. It's not the prettiest thing I've ever built, but it does flow. There's just a little bit of a steep hill there, but it does the trick. We're growing again. We need to grow to what? 80,000 is our final milestone. What I'm thinking we can do is I think I'm going to kind of frame out what we need so that we can hit that in the next episode. Then what we'll do is go back and clean some stuff up. We'll drop in all of our uniques, some of them actually to put into our city, others to just be a placeholder for allowing us to unlock a monument. We'll drop all our monuments and we'll get our city in a really good spot. And I don't know why I'm talking on this view. I really should be talking on this view. So we'll get everything kind of in a good spot, bring in all the uniques, bring in all the monuments. So next episode, we'll probably hit the top milestone, but we're so far from done on this build. We're not even close to done the vanilla portion of this. And then we're going to add in all the DLCs one by one, see how they change the overall mechanics. I think it's going to be a really cool way to see the impact that each one has in the city, whether or not it's for you. But maybe we'll establish finally once and for all what my favorite DLC is, though. I think it's going to depend on what I'm building at the time. I love them all. I love all the content in this game. But the whole thing behind it is there's a strong core to this game. And I think that's apparent by what we're building in Plainville. Ignore that traffic. I'm sure it's fine. I bet it's nothing that we did this episode. It probably is, but I'd like to think that. It helps me sleep at night. If you're enjoying the episodes, specifically this one, I guess, likes, comments, shares, they all help, and they are all so greatly appreciated. If you're new here, subscribe for more and hit the bell to get notifications for updates in this and other series. I feel like I said notifications kind of funny there, but you know what I was saying. If you'd like to support the channel, links to that and lots of other things in the description down below. Stay tuned for more videos, usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I don't see why not. And there's going to be some new stuff coming. 2021 is almost here. Thank you. Right? Can't be. I'm not going to say it. Anyways, see you on the next one. Until then, Move the Mouse signing off.